Hey, this is Steve Larsen. I'm the founder of DeFi Steward, and I'd like to show you what our plan is for the tokenomics for the Steward token. Obviously, tokens can be a total waste of time. They can be very valuable. Our philosophy is it really needs to come with some utility. What is it used for? Are there strong economics behind it? Can you do something with it? Can your users do something with it? And I think that's how everybody can have a profitable token that makes sense. So we feel we have a plan for the users of DeFi Steward where the token does something for them, and we're excited to share it with you today. So what the Steward token does is it removes barriers to adoption for financial advisors. So one of the big things we hear from advisors is, hey, my professional liability insurance, my errors and omissions insurance, what we call E&O, is not going to cover crypto. Or sometimes they get it to cover Bitcoin and ETH at a custodian, but certainly won't cover anything that's going on out in DeFi. And so what we want to do is fill that gap and give them the confidence. Because unfortunately, we're not moving $1 million accounts, but to cover 5, 10, even $50,000 accounts really should not be difficult to do with a properly designed incentive structure and token utility structure. So what we really like is the continuous token model. The inspiration of this is over at Nexus Mutual, where they have the continuous token model and a custom bonding curve. And according to our research, it works really well if you're keeping some type of reserve for the utility of the token, which we are. So how that works is upon token launch, 70% of the token proceeds would go to the company or for the development of the product. The other 30% would go into what we call the Community Defense Fund. Now, what the heck is a Community Defense Fund? It is a pot of funds. It is a reserve fund. It is an account, a wallet, however you want to call it, that the users of the system, which are advisors, can access to protect the ecosystem. So that can be a number of things. We mentioned professional liability insurance off the top. So if they make an errors, they send the wrong token, use the wrong symbol, they're getting audited by a regulator and need to do some prep work, legal costs for whatever that might be. A client has a wallet hack, their email gets hacked on their magic wallet, whatever it is. And then also we don't want it to be just defensive. We also want to play offense, and that's where we get grants, public goods funding, or a development feature that the community can use. So it's a fund that can be used for all of those things. Now that sounds cool, but we still have to have a reason to use it. So what we want advisors to do is stake their Steward token. So they stake it with us, and it's not technically a protocol, but they stake it on our front end and lock it in there. Now, they'll get rewards based on usage of the protocol. So we'll have a formula that we've developed, and basically based on usage, we want to incentivize usage. So the people that are adding users, managing assets, conducting transaction, utilizing what we've built, will get a score. We'll give them rewards, and we'll give them basically a yield based on their usage of the protocol. Now, not only will that incentivize them, presumably if they're using it, their assets are increasing. So the amount of Steward they have will also increase to give them more coverage. Now, why they care about this and why this works is that if they have a claim, if they have what we'd call a qualifying event from the list we listed earlier, they can take the Steward they have staked and they can multiply it and get reimbursed from the fund for that. So for example, if we have a multiplier of 5, which we feel we can start with pretty easily, if they have $5,000 worth of staked Steward and they have a qualifying event, they get to multiply that times 5 and they get $25,000 in funds for an event. So if they need that for legal costs, for an arbitration, to reimburse a client, hey, my client just lost $5,000 and it's a qualifying event, they can turn in 1,000 of that stake Steward, get $5,000 from the fund, reimburse that client, make the whole issue go away without some long drawn out arbitration or lawsuit or anything else an advisor doesn't want to deal with, and we'll just build up that community fund. How we're going to replenish that community fund is not just continuous token launches. We'll also give 30% of the revenue that it generates back to the Community Defense Fund. So the more the platform is used, the more that defense fund grows, the more the token is used, and then the more coverage the advisors have. So like most things, we want a flywheel. This accomplishes that. It all builds on itself. So the value's going up, the protection's going up, the fund's going up. And so the token will go up as long as the platform's being used. If there's any growth in the Community Defense Fund, whether we're just getting yield on stable coins or staking ETH in there. The growth will protect it and drive up the value of the token. And then also, if we have low claims, if we address things in advance through community education and great development, we'll limit those claims. That will grow the token. And then really, if the token goes down, if there's high claims on the community defense fund. So the goal will be to make sure that doesn't happen through a bunch of various aspects we have. The holders of the Steward token will adjudicate the claims and say, hey, this is something we want to spend money on or don't want to spend money on. It's a model that's been proven over other protocols. So we feel we have a very unique tokenomic proposal based on the actual utility and based on defending a real world business where they can also make money and join in the appreciation of the token as usage increases. So thanks for checking it out. Love to talk with you more about what we're doing. Thanks.